program just outlined briefly. We started RT, and then we took Lord Jagannath out for, literally it felt like a hike actually. Pankaj tells me to take off my shoes, so I do. I follow the instructions of my senior god brothers.
Jagannath wanted to survey the
exactly, and Pankaj took all my blisters, all my thorns. So thank you.
That's what he's here for.
That's what he's here for. And then we come Abhishek, bathing of Lord Jagannath. And then some speaking. We have my senior godbrother Radhakant Prabhu, and then our guest Rasik Mohan Prabhu, and then our other guest, ex-various Sangha member, but he's still a various Sangha member, Pankaj. Ohio.
Yeah, Shooty here, he's like senior.
Shooty. Oh my goodness. And also my father, my mother, Kastori. I have so many. I see now, and I'm looking at the children, and I'm thinking, I am still a child.
Sort of.
Of course, right? So this Jagannath is very special. Actually, our Jagannath, Jaga, great Nath Master, Lord of the universe. We all grew up, right? A lot of us grew up. We're still growing up. And around Lord Jagannath as our first deity. He appeared in the West in 1967, 66. And in 1965, 57 years ago today, Prabhupada brought this on the Jaladuta, this entire message, today, 57 years ago. So today's the anniversary. And so it's auspicious. I actually didn't know when we were planning the opening. And I call it an embassy because actually Lord Jagannath was sent by a ruler in India. So it was as a result of seva to samadhi to Gurudeva. So to get some perspective, who Gurudeva is, who Prabhupada is. Prabhupada saved the universe. So Jagat Guru, right? He brought Jagannath. Jagat Guru, the great master. Of course, he could bring Jagannath from his meditations in Samadhi Yoga and Rupa Goswami's temple, Radha Damodar temple, in the Samadhi, right? How many years of meditation and preparation in the 40s, writing articles, Harmonists, 50s, back to Godhead. He was preparing, he was practicing in Keshaji Gaudiya Math, in Mathura, speaking in English, even though the Hindustanis, Bengalis, they didn't know what he was saying. They didn't know English. But Prabhupada was speaking in English, practicing.
On the order of his Gurudeva.
On the order of his Gurudeva.
Which in English.
Right? And before that, he was a Bhaicharan, and then he was signed his articles of Bhaicharan, Bhaktivedanta. And then our Gurudev, Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and Keshav Maharaj, our Param Gurudev, they formed a seva team. It's a seva team, a group, a board, right? But it's informal. Just like this embassy, right? Informal. Because we get directives. It's not something that's appointed, right? Prabhupada wasn't appointed Acharya. Bhakti-Brigade Keshav Maharaj wasn't appointed. It comes as a result of anointment. It's merit. I look at these kids, they have meritocracy, but they also have some special line. So same thing, Keshav Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, Gurudev, Prabhupada, they're coming in this line. So they had the seva team, and so Prabhupada received sannyas. And he's initiating now, I'm going IPO. In business we call it initial public offering, right? We're going IPO, we're going public. That's a big deal. So now Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, in his head, in his mind, in his heart, is chanting this instruction from his guru.
It had never been done before.
Yeah.
Well, it did, but that is successful.
Exactly. This is like a do it, man. I love this. Thank you.
No money.
This is good.
No money.
Yes, no money, nothing, nada. So he goes on the boat with nothing, nada. He's alone, and he suffers, what, how many heart attacks? 2 heart attacks? Right? A couple of heart attacks. Goodness sake. In the West, you're over 200 pounds, and you are 100 pounds, you suffer 2 heart attacks, you're gone.
And the first one was before the ship left the dock.
Exactly.
He could have gotten off and gotten help, but he didn't.
Exactly. So then he performed miracles on my parents, on my god uncles, my god aunts, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. Miracles. These guys are tough. They come from very good families. You know? And you come to the West, you better know you're going to handle the best. Because the West it's rough here. It's the Wild West. So they came to the West, 5'2", 5'3", Bengali gentleman. He comes to the West, and he has the greats surrender at his feet. So, Prabhupada, right? Where all the masters rest. Because the disciples are masters, right? And so then I see these children, I see my brothers and sisters, actually they are masters too. How's Jagadguru? How's Acharya, Yuga Acharya? It's not appointed, it's anointed because there are masters at their feet. It's what we become for our Gurudev, for Prabhupada, that makes them manifest.
Gurudeva said, I didn't come here to make disciples.
Yeah.
I came here to make gurus.
Exactly, to make gurus. And so Prabhupada then, he made acharyas, he made gurus. Now, experimentation. But you know what? The outcome was, some collateral damage here and there, but at the end of the day, many powerful disciples came forward, right? Many powerful families were formed. Dynasties have been created, right? Many dynasties have been created. From Prabhupada's movement, his disciples, very powerful. And then, though, there was a drift of consciousness that occurred a little bit. But we were still practicing, all of us practicing. Then Gurudev comes to the West. Srila Narayan Raj comes 22 years later. And he, in my opinion, he saved the West, right? Prabhupada conquered the West and Gurudev saved the West. And he saved the West in the mood of Ishtagosti. He said, I'm coming in the mood of Ishtagosti. Jai Jagannath! I got 3 more minutes. I'm tired. So he saved it. Gurudev saved the West. How? He didn't come as an appointed charya. He didn't come as guru, actually. He came as a friend.
Yes.
Right? He came as our friend. And he befriended those tough Westerners. Our parents, those tough Westerners. He befriended them. He says, I'm going to come in the mood of Ishtagosti. Let's read Nectar of Instruction. So 1 week here, reading Nectar of Instruction. Weeks and weeks.
Prabhupada's nectar.
Prabhupada's Nectar of Instruction. Let's read line
let's
by
see all
line.
the jewels and gems that are in
Line by
Prabhupada's
line.
book.
Line by line. So 1996 he comes, mood of Ishtagosti, 97, 98, line by line. Every festival he went, he didn't just pay obeisances to Prabhupada. He actually worshipped Prabhupada through his Sankirtan, his Harikirtan. And actually that, for me, is a little personal. I have a very offensive behavior, naturally, because I'm a tough Westerner. So, Gurudev, I'm first, I've considered myself, and I am first a Prabhupada disciple. Because that's the way my parents raised me. You're Prabhupada's man. So when I saw Gurudev and heard, Gaudiya Math, I was like, what? Those rumors. So from a discerning perspective, I was discriminating. Is he Gaudiya Math, is he talking bad about ISKCON? Is he Prabhupada? Like, and then the first moment I met him, all he did in Los Angeles in 2002 or 2003 in Los Angeles was speak that full day about Prabhupada. I never cried in a Harikatha. He spoke about my Prabhupada. And the way he spoke about my Prabhupada, it wasn't just Jai Dwani, it wasn't just all glories of Prabhupada, it was, he's my Shiksha Guru Priya Bandhu. And it was real. Like, you could see the reaction of the Prabhupada disciples also. My god uncles and god aunts, my friends who I grew up seeing as these gurus, acharyas, or masters, and my father's friends, like, wow, I couldn't believe it. I remember hearing one of my mentors, Srila Prabhu, said, I couldn't believe Srila Narayan Raj, he turned so many Prabhupada disciples' hearts and softened and made them soft. I can't believe it. He took them off the streets and he put back the Brahmin thread. He put back their neck beads and he reminded them about Prabhupada. So that's Shiksha Guru for our Prabhupada family. So when I heard this, it's like, wow, I'm a Prabhupada man. I want to help Gurudev. So I became a Gurudev man. Then Gurudev, over time, he disappeared from our physical presence, and he went everywhere. Samadhi yoga. Everywhere. So, I'm going to wrap up at this point. He went everywhere, and there's a few of us that had to step up for the Samadhi, and we did. It was very turbulent times. And as a result of Samadhi Seva in 2014, 2015, around that time, the Samadhi was being built. And at that time, Lord Jagannath was taking a new form, a new body, in Jagannath Puri. And so then they have the wood, there's a whole ceremony, maybe Rasik will talk about it. And then 2014, 2015, the Pandits were very close to Gurudev's followers in Jagannath Puri, specifically to Prabhupada Prabhu. Very close, they gave gift. This is the gift from the rulers of Orissa. And then Prabhuji, because of the Samadhi Seva, he says, you're building Gurudev's Samadhi that's going to go everywhere. We don't build graveyards. We don't put our Guru in graveyard and go once a week flowers. We're building temples, Samadhis everywhere. I'm a householder, I'm low class, I'm fallen for sure. Offensive, I'll definitely take it up. But this Jagannath is the Shringadev mood. And so he does rip it apart, Western style, right? And, you know, Jagannath is very tricky, able to engage so much, everybody and anybody, Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, and everywhere. And you go to San Francisco Rath Yatra, the first Rath Yatra, Jagannath engaged everybody. Prabhupada was in opulent dresses, off the hook, gold chains, Jagannath, gold crown, everything beautiful, right? With Jagannath, you could offer everything. He's the Lord of the universe, open to everybody and everything. There's no limitations to Lord Jagannath. So it was very appropriate that, of course, he could accept my dirty heart. So, of course, though, there's a covenant with Prabhu and the rulers that Jagannath needs to eat all the time and be taken care of all the time. And so since I traveled, it was authorized that Jagannath's permanent temple is with my parents. But then, this is an anointed place, an embassy, Bhakta Bandhav Jagannath Puri, because this is where he vacations, he does programs, he comes to darshan, and we accommodate everybody and everything. So you can make any offering to Jagannath here. And candidly, I have hosted and will host not just programs, but we will host also business gatherings, fundraisers. This is a diverse place, all right? I only live upstairs, but then this whole place, it's too big. So we have to host for many things, and we are. We're hosting for business, seva, and it's all integrated because our business is to build samadhis and places of worship for Prabhupada and Gurudeva around the world because they were so broad-minded, truly broad-minded. They accepted hippies and made them into happies, and when those happies became hippies again in the 80s and 90s, they re-engaged them. So I'll end here. I want to give the Radhakanta Prabhu, and then I probably went overtime. 10 minutes ideal, but then if you go overtime, it's a little Sankirtan.
Vishvambhar Prabhu ki, Gauravani Prabhu ki.